So what up, guys? My name's Apendule Pakate. Thank you for tuning in. It's another day and another dawn. So I was trying to think up a topic this whole morning of like, okay, what can I speak on now today? And like I said in one of the videos, I said, man, like some of these things, it happens so spiritually, bro. So what happened today, this morning, a friend of mine texted me on Facebook and telling me that he's losing it basically. He's depressed, and he's considering taking himself out. He's being suicidal. And it really hit me hard, man, because I was shocked because I'm not used to meeting somebody who's on that thinking. I've always wondered how these things go and how people come to a point where they want to commit suicide out of depression. But when this person finally told me, and I have been seeing him, I've seen a change in him and how things have been. But you don't take those things too seriously. I mean, you feel like, okay, it's the stresses of life, and we're all going through the stresses of life, especially at this day and age, especially as young people. So you think it's that, but you don't know that it goes so much deeper. And I did also one time go through a state of depression, but I don't think it was at that point, the point that he's at right now. I think I had a certain period of time where I went through that. I think it was in 2016, I'm not sure. But I went through a stage where I felt depressed, man, literally, and it cripples you, and it leaves you feeling worthless, and that it makes you feel like life has no meaning, that there is no reason why I should continue living, really. I never thought of it as ending my life, but I did think, why live? I did have those internal battles until I had to fight my way out of it, and seeking spirituality, a spiritual awareness, and finding identity and finding purpose. So it helped me, and it brought me into a better place. People around me, family, my partner. So yeah, man, I feel these things probably happen to a lot of us. So I felt it's important for me to speak on the subject and this topic today, especially after that text message. I am going to go see him, actually. I told him I'm going to go see him today because he contacted me this morning. So after work, I'm going to go and see him, and we're going to talk. And I have to give him life, man. I have to, revive his soul, because it can get dangerous. It can get to a place where there'll be a lot of regrets. And I know I would have a lot of regrets if, God forbid, anything happens to him and I wasn't there for him. So, yeah, man. So that leads me to the first point of this whole thing: depression. What do you need? You need support. You need support. I can't stress this enough. Okay, we all act tough. We all act strong. We all act as if we can handle everything. We're not meant to handle everything by ourselves. I hope you guys do understand that. Even those that are pride enough and say, I could do this, I don't need any help. Yes, you do. Life, we made with each other. We live of each other. We, as people, are... The reason why we become successful in life and stuff is because of other people. The reason why we become enlightened is because of other people. What people have said, what people have taught, what people have wrote, what people have built. Everything revolves other fellow human beings. You need numbers. That's why every successful project has to have a big number. Every production that is done by a big number. Crew for this, crew for that, construction, whatever. We need people. That also entails our own lives. Our lives are like building blocks. We need people to help build us. It starts off with your mom from birth. She carries you on this earth. That's a person that's helping you get to this world. She carries you. She gives birth to you. You can't do anything of yourself. You get taken care of by your parents. You get taken to schools. You get dressed up. You get fed. All of that stuff. Till you get to an age where you can do some of these things yourself. And the older you get, the more independent you become. But even in your independence, those laws still apply because now you depend on new things. You depend on whatever you're working on. You depend on a team. You depend on teachers to teach you if you want to be educated. You depend on, right now, we as our generation are depending on the internet for information, depending on the internet for transactions, for trading, for communication. So everything, and that also the internet has been made by a person who had a team of people to help him make that, him or her. But at the end of the day, we need people. So I can't stress this enough, guys. Support people around you. If you can see a friend of yours is depressed and they are going through the most, do not judge them. Do not feel like these people are spoiled, or they don't appreciate life, or they don't appreciate what they have. How can they feel this way? You have no idea what that person's dealing with. Stop looking at the person through your own perspective and your own lens and feel like that person should be having a good life. Even people in the big mansions can go through depression. That doesn't mean that they don't need you just because they got it like that. Who said material things make you fulfilled anyway? Haven't you heard of all the rich people say that you're never satisfied? When you get there, you know, it's lonely at the top, or you can be in a big mansion and be unhappy. Because at the end of the day, it's all about people. What makes us happy is other people. If we have the money and we're able to spend it with the people we love, that's what makes us happy. Not just having it. I can have all the stuff. I can have all the equipment. I can have this house. I can have everything. But if I don't have a community of people around me, then I will be sad. I will be lonely. I won't be happy. You get what I'm saying? And it happens with every level of life. So let's not look at somebody and think that because this person has this, they don't deserve to be depressed. Actually, they don't need my help. They definitely do. They need a friend, probably more than you think. Because maybe they don't even have a lot of friends, because maybe at the top, there's a lot of fake people and there's not a lot of people that want to be your friend. They just want to be your associates because you have what you have. You got it good. So people want to be around you because of that. And it's hard to differentiate between who's real and who's fake. So it's important, guys, to have a community of people. Let's support each other. Support whoever's around you you feel like needs support. If you feel like you're the strong hand, be there and hold that hand and be like, you know what, it's okay. Sometimes you gotta just say things that even if the person knows, they just need to hear it over and over again. Yo, it's gonna be okay, man. Don't worry about it, man. I'm here for you. If you need anything, let's actually go out. Let's take a walk. You know, let's go grab a drink. Let's do it. They just want to feel that you're there, and somebody's listening to them, and somebody is present because they used to being lonely and in their heads. And this place over here, my ladies and gentlemen, this is where the war happens. Right here. This is where you get enslaved. This is where you get liberated. This is where you can find happiness, and this is where you can find depression. It's all here. Depression is a certain perspective. It's a look on life, how you look at it. It depresses you. That's why you can have everything and be depressed, because of how you see life. But somebody else may see what you have as something to appreciate, because that's how they see it. So it's all in here. You create certain thinking patterns, and you create your reality in your mind, and that's where it all starts. You know, so that's why I always stress things like the things we get from the world and the things that feed us. When I say feed, it's not necessarily just food, guys. You can get fed. Like all these programmings and all of the stuff you watch on television, sometimes all of these things you see up on the streets, they get into your mind. And your mind now is infiltrated with toxins. And you can actually get a psychological disease. A disease that's not like AIDS or something that doctors can find, but you can get a a disease in your mind, like the way you think, your thoughts are toxic. That's why people go to therapies and stuff. Those are doctors to help your mental illness. Mental illness is a real thing. It's an illness, you know. So these things go up over time, and what we need to find, and what is important, I think, for people, that what they need to find in that is what causes this. Why is it that so much of people in our generation are going through mental illness? Why are we committing suicide all around us? You hear of these kids in varsity or these matric students committing suicide. What is it about our generation and our time and our era that makes us so suicidal if everything is okay? Because it's always made up as if everything's okay. And I used to stress this a lot to people, like, guys, we are still going through a warfare. And it's not how the history books showed it to be, because history books also have this tendency of painting a certain image in your mind that some things are in the past, when they ought to be showing you how life has been like since and could still be this way, but has probably evolved and has put on a new mask. That's why I always say things like slavery still exist. The fact that you have a boss that is a slave master, it's probably not the way it used to be, where you get whipped and you probably don't even get paid because you owned. But to a certain degree, it's still the same, because we're still working in a certain type of plantation, whether it's in a building or wherever. The fact that you don't have your own time, the fact that you don't have the decisions to yourself about your life. If you decide you want to go somewhere, you can't do that because you have to be here for a certain time and you have this time off and then you're back. So your time is structured. Everything is structured for you to survive. And even back then, you couldn't leave the plantation, because if you left, you would die. Same concept now. You leave, you die. You have no money, right? So it has different clothings, man. And I feel people need to understand where these things are coming from, because we are putting a blindfold to be as if the world is better now and it's fine. And what we used to have, we don't have anymore. And now we don't see a need to fight for our freedom. We don't see a need to liberate ourselves. That is the greatest disabler for all of us, because as soon as we in our minds think we're free and we're not, that is a place where the people who are enslaving us need us to be, in order for the entire system to survive. Because then there's no revolution, there's no questioning, there's no fighting, because what am I fighting? This is my life, this is life, this is what it's supposed to be, right? So yeah, man, these things can cause depression, guys. Your life, just the fact that you feel unsuccessful and unfulfilled, because success has been painted to us in a way where we have to succeed in the system in a certain way, and when we don't, we feel unfulfilled. And that's a lack of knowledge of who we are as human beings and what actually should be making us fulfilled. What makes us fulfilled for real? Is it spiritual awareness? Is it identity crisis? Is it knowing your place in the world and why you're here? We associate all of these things with the system and the society, and we're like, well, it's in my purpose to become a boss of this company or whatever. Like, our mind frame is here, you know what I'm saying? So here doesn't have space for everybody. Here doesn't have doesn't think for you. It doesn't say we're waiting for you. It doesn't have a place for you. You need to fight your way through, and the fittest survive. Sorry. And only the strongest make it. So if you don't, how are you gonna feel? You had this dream, now you can't achieve it. You feel like you can't do anything. You're thinking of your future. You're getting older. You're thinking, how the heck am I even gonna start this whole thing? How am I gonna take care of a family? How am I gonna have children? How am I gonna have a wife? How am I gonna have a good life that's fulfilling? Because that's part of fulfillment for human beings, reproduction. I hope you guys know that, right? That's why we love sex so much. And I think I speak for parents. I'm not a parent yet, but I speak for parents when I say having a kid is a blessing. You feel it's another type of life. You've upped a level. But now that can crush you because you feel like I have this good thing, but how do I take care of it now? How do I compete in the world in order for this person to have a good life? And there's a lot of factors now that factor in, and you can't just enjoy the blessing. And I think it happens with everything. It's like you can't even enjoy the blessings of life, like reproduction, the natural stuff, because of the societal stuff, the system, and the things that you're expected to do to survive, because it's a jungle. So even with school, the type of education, a lot of kids, I think, commit suicide in schools a lot because they feel they don't belong there. I think there's a natural thing inside of us, especially the younger you are, the more in touch you still are with your core, I guess, or your natural human instincts, where you feel like, man, this thing is not good for me. I don't like it, but I have to do it. I think we've went through that since primary school. I don't think kids love school because we're forced to learn things that we don't want to learn. And these things we're learning are stuff for the system. We are learning system principles. We are learning system programming. We are learning system ways of life. And if this is a system good, yes or no, that's up to you to answer. But that's why we go to school. School doesn't make us wiser or smarter as people, as human beings. It actually just it's a training session. You're training to become this figure inside the system, to be this piece. We all are a piece to a machine. We're not our own machine. We are not our own temple. We're not gods. You understand what I'm saying? We're created in the image of God, but we are not gods. We are a piece for a system. That messes with our godlike character. It messes with our character. It messes with our instincts. That's why kids are so in touch with that instinct. They don't like this. And it's such a struggle, and they have to get used to it. You're literally forced the whole time until it gets into your subconscious, until it becomes your being, it becomes your lifestyle. And now you make every decision towards that. You create that reality yourself based on what you've been taught. So I think that's one of the things that stresses us. We also don't know what to do now. There's a lot of unemployment. There is, the system also is crashing because there's too much information. There's too many people. There's too many pieces. Some of these pieces don't fit, and we try to fit certain pieces in the system, and it's overloading because it's not built for everyone. Everyone was supposed to have their place, but now that there's a bit more liberation, it can't take it, man, But we keep gaining, we keep producing, because that's nature's way of doing things. That's our nature, that's our fulfillment. So that meets man-made things, meet nature. It's always going to be in conflict now. And these kids will want to study now. They study things they were forced to. Some of their parents don't even want to hear them out. They know this thing has money, so study this thing. And they probably have something that is given in them that they want to do, but they can't. They can't even make sense of it. It's like you're not given time to develop this thing that's inside of you. You're not given time to take a look at yourself and see what this gift is the Creator gave you, and try understand it and live with it, and then implement it and start living it. You don't even get time to do that because you're so focused on these studies and this work and this and that and that. And you're trying to impress, and you're trying to do this, and you're living day by day, going back and forth, having no time. Time is stolen from us. And then you have this urge inside of you. It wants to get out, but you can't. You don't even know what it is. So you just start feeling stressed out. Like, what the heck do I do? Like, what am I supposed to do? Who the F am I? Like, what's going on? Like, I know I'm supposed to do this and I'm getting money. I have to go day by day by this. I have to do ABC. But I'm not fulfilled, man. I'm not feeling like I'm fulfilling my purpose. It's a lack of purpose, a lack of knowing what purpose is, even, you know? So there's a lot of factors, man, that can play into that depression. Um, I mean, your environment, family troubles. I mean, it's not normal for us to see our loved ones suffer. You know, if you see your family suffer, it's hard, very hard for you to be happy. You can try, but you always know you're leaving something behind. And it messes with you as well. And they're also a product of this whole thing I was talking about, of this whole system and things. So everybody's just in a lot of things that come with it, man. A lot of sufferings that come with it. Um, Trying to make it, trying to survive, and not living. Trying to survive and not living. There's a huge difference in living life and surviving life. So I think that's what we're mostly going through. Um, I'm gonna cut it for here for now, but I think it's a very interesting topic that we need to talk about because a lot of us are going through mental illness. I'd advise you, for those who are going through this stuff, check out these books, man. There's a book by Charlemagne the God. I think you guys know him. He does the Breakfast Club. Check out his book on anxiety. Anxiety's shook. Anxiety's playing a trick on me. I've been reading some of those books. Try to see therapy. If you're not about that life, you know, find somebody who can be therapy for you. Something. I mean, I write, record music. That's my therapy. I hope it will be one day be a career, but for now, it's my therapy. Listening to my music is my therapy. You know, music I recorded and then I listen to it. It's my therapy because it's for my own soul. I can hear myself and all of the stuff and what I want and all of that. I affirm these things in my mind. The more I listen to it, I get stronger and stronger. So that's just me though. Like a lot of y'all find something, man, that's gonna help you. Find something that's gonna give you that therapy to distract you a bit, you know, distract you. And I'm not saying go and use substances because that's also a false distraction people use. Like substances are gonna get us out of it. It can get worse because the substances can work as antidepressants and they can reduce physically. You can lose your I forgot what that thing is, man, scientifically speaking. But you keep using your, I think that gives you pleasure. I forgot what that thing is. But it can go overdrive and then it can drop. And once it drops, you can physically feel sad and depressed. So that can't help, you know. It helps for the moment, but it's not a long-term remedy. Some people go to gym. I also use gym as therapy, you know, exercise because that pumps your blood and, you know, your body and every part of your body is active. It pumps your brain, so you feel more alive. You feel healthier. Eat right, eat the right diets. You know, start eating more fruits. Buy fruits and veggies. Make smoothies. Buy a blender, guys. There's blenders out there for 99 rand. It's really not that expensive. Just go buy a small blender. I have a small one. I bought it for 99 rand. Like I said, you know, maybe go to Game or go to Met to Macro, buy that ish, man, and every month with your groceries just buy some fruits, buy some vegetables, some spinach, some oranges, some apples, grapes, you know, cucumbers, um, bananas, all of that. Put it in a blender. Drink it every morning when you wake up, before you head out. Later on, exercise, you know, do some stretches now and then. Do things, man. Those things really will help. Those things helped me out, get out of my depression when I had it. Like I started living that type of lifestyle, and I haven't left it since. You know, I still eat healthy. Obviously, I'm not completely there, but I balance it out. At least in the morning, I must have some fruits and veggies. You know, but yeah, it's a balance, man. I do exercise still, run now and then, hit the punching bag. put your stress out on that punching bag, lift some weights, do all the things, man, like recreative recreational activities. Just make sure you do that before you even go to a psychologist or a therapist. That's, maybe I can say that could be the last resort. Just try first, work it out, so that you're not dependent, because that's also money, man. Like, so you don't want to add on to those stresses. But anyways, man, thanks for tuning in, guys. I don't want this video to go on too long. I ramble, like I said, but it was an important topic, and I'm very passionate about this topic because it affects us all. It affected me, and I know it affects a lot of you guys out there. So make sure that you take care of yourselves and take care of those around you. I love you guys. God bless you, and I pray that you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Let's carry this on tomorrow. Thank you.
Stick up, chisa, in my leg, it was sad.